2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Relationship Method Podcast. I'm Chris. Today, I got a special guest with me. She's Hawaii-born. She
Mm-hmm.
resides in Texas, so you know I'm cutting in her sleep time right now. She's an R&B artist. She's in her fuck season, girl. I got Kali on my shit. Yay!
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Anything
Oh,
for my people, my island, my home.
hell yeah. As you can tell, I'm not a local, but I mean, I reside here now. But I mean, Hawaii is cool as hell.
I couldn't tell. Where are you from?
I'm from Cali.
Okay,
Cali.
that makes sense because it gives the same energy vibe. So,
Oh, word. Meow. I'll take that. I will take that. So, Miss Kali, before we get going, let me ask you, how did I get the yes?
well, first and foremost, you're based in my home. I almost like give anyone a pass and yes if they're like, we're in Hawaii, I'm from Hawaii because that's just my people. That's where I was born. I lived there for 8 years of my life. My family's still down there.
Yeah.
So it has so much meaning to me. So like anytime I can come on and collaborate with locals or anyone who lives in Hawaii or is in Hawaii or just wants to put people on, I'm there.
Uh, appreciate you. And you say you were here for 8 years. What made you move to the mainland?
Unfortunately, it wasn't my choice. My mom actually joined the military, so
Oh,
we had to
okay.
pick up and move to Texas.
Uh-huh. So I'm assuming you were on Fort Hood.
Yeah, actually.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So the only reason why I know about Fort Hood is because I'm in the military too. So
Oh,
that's why I'm in Hawaii because of the military.
oh, that makes sense. Okay, but you still give that aloha spirit, so I love it.
Oh, hey, I appreciate you. And then
Mhm.
you're a singer as well too, right?
Yes, I'm a pop R&B
Woo,
artist.
girl. How did this pop up? Like, oh
You
shit, that's my
know,
bad.
No, you're fine. Being in Hawaii, it's not where like all the mainstream artists come to. It's very rarely that like you'll be so exposed to like the music the way I am in Texas. But I grew up with really young parents, and so every morning I'd wake up, my dad would be bumping 50 Cent, my mom would be playing like Beyonce, Destiny's Child, and I feel like I always took a liking to those sounds, even to the point where I would have like my boombox, and this was back when cassette tapes were around, and we had to like record.
Yes, I
Oh
know
my
that.
gosh. I'm young, guys. I'm young. Um,
Showing your age, girl. Showing your age.
I had to record on cassette tapes, and it always came so naturally to me. And I feel like growing up in an Asian Pacific Islander household, it's I think a lot of people can relate to it when I say that it's a little difficult to express your emotions to your family and just be
Oh,
vulnerable in a sense. And so for me, I always found comfort in writing, like in my diary, writing like songs, all those things. So when I mix just my love for music in general with how I love to express, it's like match made in heaven.
ooh, girl. Yes, slay.
Mhm.
I love the fact that you said in Filipino families we don't like say how we feel or we don't express that. That's I believe well nowadays I mean mental health, right? Back in
Mhm.
the day, mental health was like it was non-existent. So for us to grow up like that, we just had to buck up and just deal with it, right?
Yeah.
Mm, I feel you, girl. And then your songs, I was jamming out to them during work. How did you
Is
come
it
up with
bug
the
girl
concept?
season?
I know. Oh my God, a cadence though. I was jumping on that one. How did you come up with these joints, like, and the season that you're in right now? Like, what? How did you come up with that?
I love telling this story. So
Yes, tell.
when it came down to me wanting to take music seriously, because I dabbled in music, like in college, I was on SoundCloud, and then outside of that, my real life job that I had to get again because of like the family I come from, music wasn't really seen as this realistic career to have. My middle ground was going into public relations and media, journalism, and I did that for the music industry. So I saw a lot of that. And I learned a lot about what it came down to marketing, branding, how you should roll yourself out as an artist. Like I learned so much for doing it with other people that I knew when it came to my time for it. I sat down with a group of people from Fort Worth. They're called Greenhouse, and they were actually the ones who were like, "So what's your 5-year plan?" And I was like, "5-year plan? Like I barely even know what I'm trying to write about now." And so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they like sat the set the tone for me, basically told me that I need to have a structure. And so I came up with all the seasons and the stories I wanted to tell. And it helped a lot too, because at the time it was around when Janae Aiko's Trip album released.
Uh-huh.
And that album really shaped music for me like in a whole different perspective, and it showed me how she basically story told everything that was going on with her from the beginning of the album to the end, and it's like this journey you go on with her. And I was like, well, I would love to do that in my own sense, but not with a project, but more so like with who I am as an artist. Every season I want to tell a different story of what I've experienced and what I've gone through and what it's like to be like
Mm.
fully in that. So to your question about fuck girl season,
Ooh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's really that beginning phase of self-awareness, right? When you're falling into vices, you're chasing a lot of highs in life. You don't know what you don't know, so you're kind of just rolling with things and not really caring or thinking about the consequences. And that's what Fuck Girl season is. When you listen to the songs, it's a great time, it's a fun time. If you really, really listen to the lyrics, you can hear a lot of like how I talk about using those vices or being really in those chasing the highs and things like that. So it's just meant to transport you into a whole different like environment of what it's like to be a fuck girl or fuck boy.
Okay, okay. I used to be one, but I don't think I. No, I don't know. You know what? I don't know.
See, no,
Fuck boy,
everybody,
get the fuck.
I'm a firm believer everyone maybe it hasn't fully been one, but we've all had toxic traits. We've all been a little
Yeah.
toxic, and that's what this season is just really encompassing. It's like not caring and just
Ooh,
doing it anyways
okay.
because it's fun.
It definitely fun. Womp womp. Get yourself checked, y'all. Get yourself checked.
Don't do it. Don't text her.
make
Don't call him.
make smart decisions. Nothing good happens after 3 a.m. And one more thing. Are you single, taken, mingling, single, taken?
I like to keep a little bit of my life private. I like to
Oh,
leave everybody guessing. If
I like
you
that. I
follow
like
me
that. I
on
like that.
social media, then you'll get hints at things, and if not, then it's up in
You
the
just
air. Use
you
your
just don't
imagination.
know. Hey, okay. Hey, everyone shoot your shot. Skip it. YOLO. I don't care. Hit her up. Don't hit
Come
me up.
on,
Hit her up.
closed mouths don't
Uh,
go in.
right? I know, girl. I know. So your time in Texas. Before we get into these questions, your time in Texas. Was it hard when you first got there, or whatnot, or did you really adapt it in like quickly?
No, I felt like it was hard, especially growing up in Hawaii, where one, it's broken English, right? I'm speaking like pidgin. Two, this is like my first time really being shown to a different environment, because in Hawaii it's very different there. Certain people
Facts.
are looked at different ways than people are in the mainland. If you know, you know. And so when I came here, a lot of people looked at me at like I was so scared to talk. I remember my first day in class, I was so scared to talk because I felt like just energy from people. I felt like an
Mm,
outsider. And even like English and reading was such a hard thing for me to pick up on because it wasn't so like heavily taught in Hawaii. And so it was just definitely an adjustment, but I was excited because honestly,
mm,
I visited Texas before I moved here because my grandma had already lived here, and I
yep.
loved it. As a kid, though, I feel like anywhere when you leave home, you're so excited. It seems so like brand new and fun. And honestly, though, I do feel like I was meant to be here because there's so much more opportunities when it comes to my music and everything I wanted to do for myself that I still want to end up in Hawaii eventually, but it all happened the way it was supposed to.
Ooh, definitely. I remember when I first moved to Hawaii. My daughter, she went to Leilehua High, and she talks exactly like me with the slang and all that. So, luckily for her, she was there was other military kids going to Leilehua High,
Hmm.
but the whole broken English thing and pidgin, she had a hard time adjusting and grasping what they're saying, right? So I totally understand how or what you went through because I would hear it from my seed. She's in
Yeah.
college now, but she would tell me like when she comes home from school, she's like, "Oh yeah, Dad, this and the third." I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? It's all good, man. Buck up." You know what I'm saying? Buck up. I'm saying. I'm like, but okay, okay. Do you have any questions for me before we dig into these questions that people DM'd me for you?
No, I'm so excited to see what people DM'd you. I'm excited.
Okay, the first one is oh, here we go. What made you passionate about pursuing your career? I think you answered that, but if you want to elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah, I think what makes me so passionate is because I've had this dream now in me since I can remember. I always felt like I didn't really fit in because in Hawaii culture, right? Like I saw my cousins, they were ready to like have kids and families,
Yeah.
and it's very like that's you go to work, you come home, like you're with family. Like it's just that's what the value is. And for me, I always felt a little out of place. I always felt like the odd person in my family. And as you can see, like when I go to Hawaii and I show up like this, I look very different than like all my family that I'm with. And I just always felt like there was something in me that was a different calling than what I feel like my family or friends understood and even what I understood until I like reached it. And I love music so much. It has changed my life in ways that I can't even really explain. At one point it's even like saved my life, and I know a lot of people can relate to that. So for me, I'm just so passionate because I've seen what music can do to heal and help other people. And I told you, a little bit about my 5-year plan, and like in that 5-year plan, that's what I want and hope to do. So it's bigger than me at this point, and I think that's why I'm so passionate about it.
Ooh, that's a great answer. I
Thank
think I might see that in the source one day.
you.
I'm sorry. I'm fired. I'm fired. Okay, so questions from the audience and followers. The stages after a breakup. Could you elaborate or could you like dig into like the stages after a breakup and how to deal with that?
Ooh, that's a good one. I
Yeah.
it's for me, this is how I would go about it because I know everybody's different, everyone's had different experiences, but
Yeah.
for me, because I'm an artist, right? My first stage is I want to go to the studio, I want to be in there, I want to get everything out that I'm feeling, I want to express it the way
Ooh.
I do. And I feel like that would help a lot
Yes.
of people too, like taking all that emotion that you're feeling and turning it into something like creative that you can do with it.
Hmm.
It's such a special process. And some of the songs I've made from those moments of like breakups or heartaches or feeling really sad are honestly like some of my favorite songs because it's such of like raw emotion. So I
Hmm.
feel like when you take that and turn it into something beautiful, like that's the first step. The second step is like cadence. You get your girls, right? You get your friends, you get the people who are there for you or your day ones because they're the ones who remind you of who you are. I feel like
Yeah.
after a breakup, a lot of times we become so used to who we are with that person, which makes sense because we're with them
Yeah.
all the time, right? Like it'd be weird if it wasn't that way. But it's like then again now finding not only who you used to be without that person, but who you want to be now that you've gone through everything you've gone through and the future you want for yourself. I feel
Mm.
like those two stages are just the most important.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I'm glad you said that you've like you're after a breakup you have that positive outlet of going into the studio. I know a lot of people they go into their little bowl. I mean, their little shell. They start eating ice cream, they watch and they listen to sad songs, they watch rom-coms or
Yeah.
whatnot. But being active, I honestly think that's also a good way of dealing with the no, like the first stages of a breakup, right? Yeah, so it's like grief. You got your
Yeah.
denial part, you got your mad part, and then you got your acceptance or whatnot.
Hmm.
But that first stage is good, especially with you said being with your friends, your day ones. That's super important. But let me ask you, like, let's say if your day ones aren't there, like say this person's in Korea, because military maybe, or just by the lonesome, moved out there to Korea for that girl, the girl or the guy broke up with them. What would you do if your day ones aren't there?
That's so specific. Um,
I'm not saying any names though. I'm not saying any names.
so
But thank you though.
if you're saying that you don't have your people around, I mean, I think
Yeah.
there's two ways I would personally go about it.
Yeah.
One is you should go out into places that you enjoy doing. So like for me, I will go
Mm,
out to open mics. I'll go out to events where like I know there's other people who love the same things I do because within that you never know, who you're gonna find and you could find your next tribe there. You could find your next best friend there. You just never know. I feel
facts.
like going to places where you already know you have common ground is very easy for you to not only kind of process like the breakup and get back to what you love doing, but also find other people that you can connect with there.
Mm.
And the second thing, I'm gonna get a little spiritual here, but
Oh.
it's really like turning to God. When I've
Mm.
had really hard breakups, I would be in the church every Sunday. I would be praying as
Oh.
much as I could, especially because there's gonna be times where you feel like you can talk to your best friend, you can talk to your mom, you can talk to whoever, but you still feel like this deficit there. And I don't know how you can really explain it. It's just like nothing is fulfilling, but I feel like when you do open up and talk to God, it brings just so much joy into your life.
I'm glad you said that because I was talking to one of my homegirls and she said that her one of her bucket lists was being closer to God. So I really love that comment that you just said.
Yes, amen.
Ooh, girl. Side question. Open mic. When you first went to open mic, how nervous were you, and how did you get over that? Because I know some people on the island that want to do stand up comedy,
Mm.
but they're scared in going in front of people and just bombing the first time.
Comedy is hard. That is hard. I would say that's like harder than performing at an open mic singing wise because
Uh huh.
you do comedy to get a reaction. I think
Yeah.
in my sense, I'm performing more so to just like share what I created.
Uh huh.
So I give kudos to anybody who wants to do comedy. That is not easy, but like more power to you. I would just say, like, for me, I know last year I took performing very seriously. My big goal was to perform as much as I could so I could learn, I could get better, I can get more comfortable on stage. And let me tell you, the year before that in 2023, I cringe at those videos. I do not want to listen to the way I sounded back then. My stage presence was so awkward sometimes. Like, you
Mhm.
could just tell the nerves were taking over. But the thing is, you have to go through that sometimes to get better and to get to where you want to be. Because now, I just had a performance last week, Wednesday, and I was rewatching back the footage and I was like, damn, she did
Oh,
that.
she did a thing. Goddamn. Hell yeah. I like how you said that I guess you rewatched your old performances because when I started out this thing, I didn't know what I was doing. So one of my boys would always bring up like old clips and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm cringe as hell." Like awkward, you know? And it's
Right.
I don't know, it's like I guess like what you said, you have to go through the experience to know what works and
Mhm.
what doesn't, right?
Yeah, everything's gonna be cringe until it's not. It's just
Yeah.
how it has to be.
Growing pains, growing pains. Um, did you if you were ever with someone while you were performing and going through the stage of being an artist, did you have any like jealousy or what's the other word? Oh God, like not yeah, like so jealous guys or girls, yeah, jealous people that you're around other people or that your career is like lifting off. Did you ever had to deal with any of that stuff?
I probably have, but I probably just haven't really noticed because
Mm,
I just stay so focused on like my goal, what I'm doing, and I have so much love for the people who support me and who are there for me. And
yeah.
there's been times, of course, like, excuse me, some friendships have like fallen off. I'm not sure why. Sometimes it could be, when I reflect on it, it could be something within them that they wanted so bad for themselves that when you see someone doing it, I can understand how that could make you feel some type of way. But at the same day, it's like we both have the same 24 hours to like do what we can do. So I wouldn't say I necessarily came across someone I knew was like, yeah, that girl's jealous of me or that guy like envies me. But sometimes you walk in a room and you can feel it. But at the end of the day, you just gotta be you and don't let anybody dim your light. I would never do that to anybody. So
Mm.
that's just not the type of energy I give. So I feel like for me, it's not really the energy I have around me much either.
Ooh, good advice. That's a good answer. That was a good answer. Next question is okay. Are you able to date someone with a kid?
That's a good question. Um, it's funny because I have, so I know what that's like.
Hmm.
I think it's all circumstantial. Ideally, I wouldn't want to just because I know what that comes with and I just know my lifestyle and if I got like a call in the next morning that I gotta be in Cali because I just got accepted to be like at the Grammys or something, like I'm going. If I
Yes.
got a call that like they want me to move to LA because I'm about to sign a deal, like I would highly consider it. So it's a little hard because someone with a kid is so like established where they're at, especially if the
Hmm.
kid's young, you know, like they want to be present. And so that's what makes it really difficult. I wouldn't say it's like impossible, but
Hmm.
that would call for a lot of compromise from that person who has a kid. But it would also mean I would have to compromise a lot too because, you know, they have a kid.
Oh, definitely. Hypothetical. You're with a boo with a kid. You do get that call to go to LA. Are you able, depending on how long you've been with this person, would you be able to take him and the child with you?
Oh, yeah, like if they're down, you know, when I got my private jet one day and all that, I'm like, pack it up, we're going to LA, call the
Yeah.
school, hey, the kid is sick today, and we're going.
Okay. 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 Cool. So you're not one of those people that would just leave them behind and then just go chase after your dream. But it all comes down to like you're establishing how your relationship is. Yeah.
Yeah, like it definitely comes down to
Yeah.
that.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
I would say, like, you know, coming from Hawaii, family is a huge value to me too. Like it's very, very, very big. It's something I hold near and dear to my heart. So if I'm involved in a relationship with a kid, I'm absolutely gonna like consider them in everything I do. But that's what also makes it hard for me to say yes to something like that because I would have to consider them in everything that I do. And
Yeah.
anyone being, you know, in the music or entertainment industry knows it's very go go go. The entertainment industry does not sleep. It's like when the opportunity comes, like you either take your chance or you might miss your shot at something that could be life changing. And anytime I get in a relationship, I think this is very, very important, is to always have an open conversation of what the expectations are and what you value. So whenever I start talking to someone, I always let them know like music comes first.
Hmm. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy to hear that because there's people that put, their priorities are all messed up. And I'm so happy to hear that your priority is music. So that's like nothing else is going to stop you. So I'm very happy to hear that from you.
Yes, period.
Period per. Yes. All right, next question is okay. So this might be and I'm going to apologize for it now. It might be a horny one, right? Oh, wait. Am I good? Am I good now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
hear you. Yep.
Okay, so this question, do women want to know the size before they go into bed? Is it courteous for the guy to tell a woman their size?
You know, I'm gonna say no on that. And I only say that because it's like
Okay.
why would that have to be part of the initial conversation that you're having? If it is,
Right.
I mean, it depends what kind of conversation you're having, right? Like if you're both there for a good time, not a long time, cool. Like have at it, talk about it.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you
Yeah.
if you're a woman who prioritizes that, do you, boo? But me personally, I don't think so. I more so like will connect with someone based off like vibes and more like intellect before I think of anything. Like obviously you have to be physically attracted. Let me not be one of those looks doesn't matter person.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
at the same time, I don't think it comes down to like me always having to know someone's size on the first date to see if we
Uh-huh.
go like further into the relationship.
Ooh, I'm glad you said that because this question was asked and it was one of my black homegirls. So from back in Cali. So there's your answer, girl. All right. No,
There
no,
you
no. I this is from one of my boys back in Cali. Have you ever being catfished in the bedroom? Have you ever experienced that?
That's what does like catfish in the bedroom mean though? You know, like that's such a
It's
generic.
so yeah, yeah, it is. It's generic. It's so wide. I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna think like a horny guy real quick. All right, hold on. All right, so I guess I look good in the t-shirt, but then when the t-shirt's off, I'm all lightweight, scrawny.
Uh,
Or I guess I was carrying a package, but then when the pants comes off, the package isn't there. Or one of these things where I wear a suit to the date, but when it comes down to the bedroom, I'm all hairy and stuff. I look like a Sasquatch.
okay,
So
okay,
something like that, something like that, yeah.
okay.
Or you know what? Something crazy. Comes to the bedroom, my toupee falls off. That type of scenario. So has that ever happened to you to where you're like, oh no, this is not who I met. I just met a representation of you, man.
That's so funny. Honestly, no, I don't think I've been catfished in person, like on dates and things like that, but in the bedroom, as far as that goes, no, I don't think I ever have. And maybe it's because I don't think too hard into like, hey, what is this person gonna look like naked? Or like, is there like,
Yeah.
you know, I will say hatfish though is a thing, yes, because there be guys who be wearing hats and they take it off and they look like so different without a hat. Like, yes,
Ooh.
that sense, yeah, like that's happened before, but as far
Uh
as
huh.
like anything else goes, no.
Okay, tell me your experience of you being catfished, because I have a story for that too.
Oh, like
Twice. I got
okay.
catfished twice.
Well, you know how it goes with dating apps. Like everybody's
Mm-hmm.
obviously putting out like their best photos and things like that, which like I'm also like not want to say I haven't put out photos that might have had filters on it or, you know, that I adjusted to it. But I feel like for the most part, me as a person when I'm in person, like I look the same. But there was one time I remember it was in my when I was in college. I invited this guy to this house party I was at, and I just remember opening the door because my friend told me that he was here. And I looked at him and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure I shut the door and I think I told my friend to lock the door.
Uh,
And I'm pretty sure they locked the door and like he did not get in. And I think he like was texting me. I was not answering at all. But that was the most like catfish I've been because man did not look anything like he did on his photos online at all.
really?
At all.
Wow. So the times that I got catfished, I was still in high school. Um, this is gonna tell my age. It was on AIM. I don't know if you know what.
Oh,
Don't
game?
know. Yeah, AOL chat rooms, this and shit, right? ASL, age, sex, location, all that and
Yeah.
third. So I get a picture from a girl, and this happened twice. And she'd live like an hour and some change away, right? Cute face for some reason, and I should have like figured this out. But my, high school Chris, horny and all that, is just from the chest up. So from the chest up, it was all gravy. Come to find out, and mind you, I didn't have a license at the time. I would like have to beg my homeboys to be like, "Hey man, let's make a trip out here, and then we should link up with some people." So I would like have to, um,
Finesse.
like yeah, finesse my way on going up there. I meet these people, meet these females. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I'm a nice guy, so like I hung out with them and everything. But damn, that was the first time. The second time, same thing happened. Like chest up, it was all gravy, cute face. But I mean, sound like a dick, but back in the day, I was lightweight, superficial and stuff. So when I saw like the down part, I was like, oh man, not again. But I mean, nonetheless, I had a good time with the person. And it's crazy because I still talk to them now.
Oh,
Like they're
okay.
real good friends of mine on social media. Like when I was living in Cali, uh, they would come down and visit. Since we all could drive now, and we would make fun of those moments and shit. But yeah, those after that, I was never catfished again. But those two times, I was like, oh gosh, this ain't happening. No way.
But
Don't even leave a picture.
I love that you're still friends with them, you know? Like that's dope.
Oh man, no, I mean, okay, so one thing that I've learned, and especially like growing up in the hood and stuff, Like, and this is old me now. Like, fat people, annoying people, when they hit their like teens or like after high school, like majority of them slim the fuck up and they become somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember my dad always telling me, "It's like, hey man, be nice to everyone because you do not know what's gonna happen like in the
Yeah.
future." So I'm just like, oh, I bet I'm gonna be cool with them. I'm not gonna be mean. If they need 50 cents, because I'll be broke, I'll be like, yo, I'll give y'all $1. I'll give you 50 cents, this and third. But yeah, like I think being nice goes a long way.
Yeah.
It's hard to be not nice and mean.
Well, for us, yes. People like us, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Cheers to that. Clinky, clinky. All right, hey, thank you for the answer. Thank you for the answer. Here you go. Here's a this would be a good one. What's the worst way to flirt in the DMs?
Ooh, good question. As a guy,
Hmm.
the worst way, I think obviously maybe because I don't know how guys feel about it, but from a girl's perspective, like, don't come off too aggressive. Don't start saying things like, I wish I was there with you. That should be me. Like, ugh,
Oh, really?
no.
No,
No.
no, none of that. Okay, okay.
No, I think the best way to do it would honestly be the long game. And that's just like from my experience, like a little like on the story here, a little like on the post here, maybe comment next time, maybe like actually sending a fire to
Oh,
them. Like it's all
uh-huh.
about like slow to warm, you know? Coming off too
Oh,
hard, I think, at least for me, it scares me off. I'm like, this is too much. And
okay,
also,
okay.
I feel like when people come off so strong, you never know what their intentions are, right? Like if someone's taking their time, then clearly they're intentionally wanting to get to know you or like
Uh-huh,
even just get noticed by you. But if someone's just like coming off the back, like, I wish that was me or like anything like that, I'm kind of
uh-huh.
like, ugh.
Ugh. Um, question. With the whole like guys playing the long game, right? Why are women why do they like the asshole kind of guy instead of like the nice guy, that treats them right, that is chivalrous? Why do they tend to fall for like say the assholes, the ones that that just doesn't leave the door open or expects the woman to pay at the IHOP or whatnot? Why is that? Why do you think?
I think it could be one of two things. They could either be in their fuck girl season, which I get.
Yeah,
Like attracts like, you know what I'm saying? Like if that's
yeah,
who you
yeah.
are as a person, then you're gonna attract that person too.
Uh-huh.
So it could be a situation of that, or I feel like it could just be like for me personally, I really like the nice guys who do very romantic things, but there needs to be like some sort of spice in there, you know? Like don't
Yeah.
be an ass, but also like don't just always be like a yes man or goody two shoes. Like I feel like there's a good medium ground,
Mhm.
but I think either the person just likes jerks because that's who they are too, maybe internally, or maybe it's a self-worth thing. We're about to get deep. It could be a self-worth thing. Maybe they feel like that's all that they're like worthy of receiving. Maybe that's all they've known. Or maybe
Mm.
also, social media plays such a huge part, and even just like media in general, movies,
Yeah.
anything like that plays such a huge part that when we see like the good girl falling for the bad guy, we're like, ugh, I want that type of romance.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've read a statistic saying that uh, women they would go for like the not so good guys opposed to like a good stable guy because on I guess past trauma or and slash or um like how they feel about themselves.
Yeah.
So what you just said was pretty valid, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know the person saying it, and not from what I was literally the literature that I was reading.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense why it happens that way, It like all comes down to psychology.
Yeah, have you gone through that?
Like liking bad boys because of those
Yeah, like in the
reasons.
bad boys because they kind of treated you trashy, but then you're like, ugh, I ain't trying to go for that. But then you're like, man, that shit's cute.
I don't think I like intentionally was trying to do that, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do think once you're like in that like almost toxic cycle, the
Mm,
highs are so high that when the lows happen, yeah, the lows are terrible, but those like moments of high just it's everything that you live off of. Even if it's like
yeah,
this much highs and like these many lows, I feel like a lot of people can relate to me when I say that.
yeah, yeah. Oh, and a little personal with you. What's your go-to green flag?
Oh.
Oh,
I think this is such a weird one, but I feel
uh,
like a green flag for me is when they're creative because that just
okay,
makes me see that not only do they have like that intellect up there to create
yeah,
something, because I think it does take a lot of brain power and imagination and things like that to do it, but that also lets me know they have an outlet to express themselves. That
uh-huh.
means they're vulnerable, and I love that.
Oh, okay. So, do you like eat off or feed off the vulnerability, like the vulnerable side of a man?
Not like in a sense like that. Like I don't wouldn't say it's like I'm using it for my own, agenda, but I just
Uh-huh.
think that I like when a guy is vulnerable.
Okay.
It shows me that they can be emotionally intelligent.
Hmm.
There's just like so many things behind it, but I do think like talking about that though, that it's okay for guys to not fully be vulnerable with their partner, because I do believe there are some things that like guys as men just have to handle like on their own, and as
Yeah.
women I don't think we can always emotionally handle everything that they're going through. So I like when they're vulnerable, but if my guy needs time to himself to deal with what he's dealing with, I'm like, have at it.
Have at it, girl. Okay, next question is how to deal with a person that you like, but they don't like you back.
Oh, I've had too many experiences with that
Is it
one.
is it the person liking you or is it you liking the person?
It's me liking the person. But like you said, let's go
Okay.
back to like when we talked about high school, because like you said, when
Okay.
you were like that nerd, not so good looking in high school, like you had your glow up, right? So like
Yeah.
that was me for years of liking guys, and it just
Mm.
I wasn't the it girl back then. But look at me
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, I know, Bird. Yeah, yes.
but yeah, I dealt with that a lot of times. What was the question?
Oh, how do you deal with you liking a person but the person doesn't like you back?
Oh, that's so hard because a part of me is in this Delulu world where I'm like, but they can. But what if they do? What
Yeah.
if I play the slow game and it works out, you know?
Uh-huh.
But at some point, you do just kind of have to be like, okay, if they don't see your worth or value at that point,
Yeah.
girl, it's time to go.
Oh, okay, okay. So you don't so like say the guy was friendly, right? And he accepted, your advances and everything, but kept it to that friend level. Are you still gonna go or are you still gonna like keep shooting your shot until his wall breaks down?
Man, old me would have kept going.
Old
Me
you would have kept
now,
going.
me now has boundaries
So it's
and
a it's a
and all
deuce,
that.
huh?
Because like I relate to that in a sense of I guess it wasn't so much that they wouldn't like me back, because I've experienced a lot more times where they have liked me back, but there's always been an ex that they would always run back to.
Oh. Wow, that's crazy because I don't think. Like, hold on, let me backtrack. I don't think I've ever like ran back to an ex. There was an ex that I would chase after, but then I would snap back into it and be like, "Ugh, fuck this shit, I'm done." So
Mm.
has that ever happened to you to where you running back to an ex and then you're like, "What the fuck am I doing? No way, like skip it."
No, for me, when I'm like done with an ex, like I'm done. If I'm talking to someone new after that relationship is over, I am here. I'm never going back there. That's because the thing
Okay.
with me is I give so many chances and I do my
Uh,
best to compromise and work through whatever's happening. But if I am like ready to out it, it means that all has been done.
Really? So can an ex still be your friend?
Yeah.
Has that? Are you still okay? Okay.
So I like that question too, because I asked myself that. Because I
Mm,
like talked to guys who are friends with their exes, and I was like, that makes me feel weird, but is that a me thing or is that a them
mm,
thing? So I did a lot of research, and I don't know if you know who Jay Shetty is, but he has the biggest mental health podcast in the world, and I love listening to it. But he had talked about that question. I like the way he put it in a sense of like, yes, people can be friends with their exes if there's that emotional intelligence and understanding, right? Like you have
Hmm.
to respect that person's journey now without you and if another person comes to play. But at the same time, if there's an understanding there, and let's say maybe they were also friends before that relationship happened, I think it's possible. It all just comes down to like that maturity.
Okay. Mature. Were you a mature teen or a mature were you mature in your early 20s, Miss Holly?
No, absolutely not. That's what fuck girl season's all about.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. I was stupid as hell too. Oh my God. And okay, so outside of I mean, from performing, doing music and stuff, what do you do on like the side? Like what's your outside job? Do you have an outside job or anything? Like how are you paying the bills, girl?
Yes, I do have an outside job. I'm not telling nobody it because I know some people might find out about it. But I do have an outside job because, of course, you got to do what you got to do in order to do the things you want to do.
Hmm.
And that outside job has to do a lot with makeup. Makeup's a huge passion of mine. I used to freelance as a makeup artist. I still do sometimes here and there, but I love it so much as you can see. I went all out for this.
Her, yes,
But
yes.
I do that. I dabble into dancing as well. That was another one of my loves. I did it since I was young. I did it throughout high school. I was on drill team, so dance is such like a huge passion of mine as well. And I think also you could say fashion is a huge thing for me. It's all the creative things that as a kid I was doing, and now as an
Yeah.
adult I get to like explore all these different lanes of such a
Uh-huh.
wider spectrum of it all.
Ooh, that's what's up. Makeup, Mac or Sephora?
Like, are you asking me what my preference is?
Yeah, what's your preference?
Oh, everybody knows that Mac is so like early 2000s. Sephora is definitely that girl. Sorry, not.
That's crazy. Okay, so my wife, she used to work for Mac and now she's working for Sephora. That's the
Mm,
only reason why I asked, because I know, beat that face. I know like the
yeah.
terminology, yeah, I know the terminology and shit.
So she probably knows because Mac was that girl back in the day. Don't get
It
me wrong. They
was,
definitely led
yeah,
the road for innovation with makeup. I remember that's how I fell in love with makeup. My mom was a young mom. I remember always going to the Mac counter in Macy's, her buying all this makeup. She had her like whole trunk of all this Mac stuff I would go in and steal and try on when I was in high school. And that was like my first love for makeup. I think a lot of girls that was their first love. But if you don't keep up with the times, you get
yeah.
left behind.
Oh, facts. What is that? A bar? Ugh, she's rapping. Hey, question. Why do you think Mac is not it anymore and Sephora is just killing it?
Well, I think when it comes to, well, first of all, Sephora has a bunch of different brands, right? Like you
This is
have
true.
Rihanna in
Yeah.
there, Lady Gaga in there, like you have all the brands. So of course they're winning. Whereas Mac, all they can really do is get these collaborations going on.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like fighting this like beast. And also, I don't know if anyone knows, but like getting technical with it, Mac was bought by I want to say L'Oreal or Revlon. It's one of those big umbrella companies, but ever since they were bought by them, it's just really never been the same.
Oh, so that's the backstory.
Hmm.
Hmm. Well. Now we know. And then you said you were on like, were you on a legit hip hop dance team, or you just took class, or what was that about?
In middle school, I was on a step team. I was doing all that thing. I was
Yeah.
doing that. When I was younger, my mom tried to put me in hula. I was on cheer too. I did cheer in Hawaii, and then I went on to drill team, which is, if you don't know, it's like the dancers after the football games, like halftime, they'll go on the field and do their little dance and show. So it was a little bit of everything, honestly.
It's the shit that you see on Drumline. Nick
Yeah.
Cannon. Yes. It's funny that you say that because back in Cali, I used to be on a dance team too. So
Oh.
yeah. So it was Cali boy, yeah, Filipino, yeah. It was the thing. It was the thing. So
Yeah.
okay, so you're dancing and then fashion, right? Are you when you got into fashion, are you like cutting up and sewing things together to make them your own, or are you just mix matching things to make it hype and like make it look good and stuff.
I would have loved to have sewn things. My grandma, she grew up just like sewing things. That's all she did for her career. I used to go to work with her when I was like younger in Hawaii to even when I moved to Texas, and I just always saw her sewing. Like she would sew clothes, curtains, beddings, like whatever. She even sold one of my Halloween costumes one year. She's amazing. And so I really wanted to get into that, but unfortunately, fortunately, my time goes towards music. But I would eventually love to have my own fashion line and have more time to create some pieces. But for now, it's more so styling pieces together
Mm.
and doing more like fashion styling. Yeah.
Ooh, I still do this now, but I always go to the Dookie rack of any store, and I'm always looking at like the ugliest thing, and I would buy it, and I would like mix match on what I have with it. I'm more, coming from California, it's more of like your shirt matches with the shoes or your hat matches with the shoes,
Mhm.
right? So anything above that, it's like, who gives a shit? Who cares the shirt color? As long as the hat matches with the shoes, you straight, right? So I
Yeah.
used to be like on that fashion tip too, where um, the Dookie rack, you get a $5.99 shirt that regularly costs like $44 to make that shit look good
Yeah.
and blat out. So yeah, I like that fashion shit. Hey,
I
Collie,
respect that. That's dope.
a girl, doing I'm again when trying to go. Okay, this is the last one.
Okay.
Um, do women have zero game when they're trying to get a guy?
Do women have zero game? I think it just depends what woman you're talking to and also
Okay,
how attractive that guy is because let me
yeah,
tell you, you could get the baddest girl in a room, but if there is a man that she just might feel like is the most beautiful man in the world and he's getting all the attention by girls in the room, she's gonna probably slip on her game.
uh
Um,
huh.
but I think the biggest thing is just like what's their confidence level at. For me, if I really want to get someone and I can like turn it on and I'm good, like I know I'm gonna bag it. But
Hmm.
there's times where I just get way too nervous or I don't know what to say. It's just like a human
Yeah.
thing. And then I'd be like slipping up and then I'll try to go for like the oopsie cute girl type of.
Have you slipped? Like, has that ever happened? Let's say recently or like the past 9 months where you shot your shot and you were stumbling and you just didn't know what to say.
No.
Okay,
I don't think
okay.
I don't think that's happened to me
Mm.
since. Man, it's been a while. I don't mean to say that as
Oh,
in, like,
my
look at
bad.
me, but I just say that because that's never really been like my priority. Like I'm just so focused and for me if it happens
Mm.
that connection's there, it's gonna happen. I really don't feel the need to like go out of my way to make it happen.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so yeah, no.
Oh, have you ever connected with someone, like say while you're performing and you get off stage and he sees you, spits his line. Have you remembered a line or a comment that a person made that made you think, oh, I'm gonna remember you because of that? Has that ever
Mm,
happened yet or anytime?
yeah. I mean that happens a lot with
Oh,
people in
yeah, yeah. Keep going. No, keep going. Keep going. I'm just
That
finishing my shit.
happens
Keep
that
going.
happens a lot with people in general, really. But I will say there's
Uh,
this one time, man, this was memorable. I was at a show and me and my best friend, we went outside. It was after we had, I think, taken like edibles or something. And we went to the car to go eat the snacks. And we come out of the car and there's just a street light behind my car and there's just someone being like, "Are you Collie?" And it just like freaked me out. So I like immediately get my friend, I'm like, "Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go inside." So we run back inside the venue and we have like our night goes on. The next day I go to my friend's show and she's recording me because I'm doing her makeup and she posted on her story and that guy had messaged her and was like, "Hey, like I was trying to say hi to that girl last night. Can you just apologize to her for me? Like I didn't mean to scare her."
oh,
And
uh-huh.
I was like, "Well, you have to think like coming from the situation of it being nighttime, you're under a street light. Me and my friend are like two small, like petite girls, and you're just like calling
Yeah.
my name out of nowhere. Of course, like I'm like stranger danger."
Oh,
And
yeah, yeah.
it was funny because that whole beginning was how me and that guy started talking.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's cute. That's just cute. Well, Kali, girl, that was fun.
Thank
That
you.
was
I
super
loved
fun.
this conversation. Thank you for having me.
Oh no, thank you. Where can these people find you at? And yeah, do you have any shouts or anything?
Yes, so you can find my music on every streaming platform. Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. Just look up Kali space flower and you can type in Chris's favorite song Cadence and I will immediately pop up. But you can find me on there or you can find me on all social media platforms at Kali the Girl, Kali the Girl.
Yes, Slay Queen. Do you have any shouts or anything?
Yeah, I just want to shout out everyone who's watching this, everyone who's supported me, my family, my friends. I would not be here doing what I love without you guys. And obviously, I always want to give it up to God because He is the one who gets me through all the trials and tribulations. And we're here and we're breathing. And I just want to
Mm.
leave everybody with one word that if you really have like a passion or desire in your heart, there's a reason why that was planted in you. So be a little curious, follow it, and see where it takes you because it could lead to your purpose in life of impacting a lot more people than you think you would.
Oh my God, I almost shed a tear. No, that was beautiful. No,
Thank
no
you.
cap. That shit was cool. Shout out to KM Studios. Thank you for the lovely home. Rappy Bite. Thank you for the lovely beats, man. With that being said, I'm Chris.
And I'm Kali.
There it is, and we out this bitch. Peace.